Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. This is our fourth to last Karlov Manor draft here on the channel. The last one will be this Friday. And then for the next 2 weeks, the entire content on the channel will be the best deck tournament closing out the format Karlov Manor. In the way that I like to here, I take my best 8 drafted decks, pit them in a top 8 against each other, and see who comes out on top as the best deck tournament to close out the format. So that should be fun. Tune back into the channel. That will be the next 2 weeks after this week. And then Thunder Junction set review season is here. But we do still have 4 more drafts of this set. And boy, do I love starting with a good white card. Because white is great. I haven't been able to get into white a lot lately. We started the format with a ton of trophies. And haven't really had one in at least a week, if not more. Because we haven't drafted white a lot. But Wojak Investigator is a pretty darn big reason to do so. And a great pack one pick one for us here. Followed up by Case of the Gateway Express, one of the better white uncommons. Gotta love this start. And just gotta hope that white is open. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be that open, because we can pair it with another color. Because we do have 2 very good white cards to start here. Now, where do we go from here? Well, I don't really like any of these red cards. Crime Novelist is fine in like blue-red. Ransacked Lab is basically unplayable. Due Diligence, I don't mind playing like a copy of, but I don't think it's worth taking this early. Topiary Panther's good in some decks. I think the best card here is Tunnel Tipster. It's got the highest upside. Green-White is not a horrible deck. It's a fine deck. But I'm not locking myself into green-white. I would very much like to be white, though. So now we've got Crovad Haunch versus Museum Nightwatch. I do really like Museum Nightwatch. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, this is a card I think I like slightly more than most. And I'm fine pick 4ing it here because everything else is not great. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves deeper into white here with the Museum Nightwatch. There is another Tunnel Tipster. There's also an Out Cold. I like both of these here. Investigator is a detective. Museum Nightwatch makes a detective. I think I'm going to take the Tunnel Tipster over the Out Cold. And the only tiebreaker being that I already have a Tunnel Tipster. If I had all white cards here, this would be much closer. But getting 2 tipsters is pretty good. Alright, white completely gone. Green completely gone. So we've got to branch out here. Could take Vengeful Tracker as a 2-mana 2/2 with slight upside if we wanted to think about red-white. There's also Deduce for blue-white life, as well as Stalker for black-white potential here. I don't think I want to get into black. I could just take Automaton as well. I don't really like much of this here. Deduce is probably not going to go well in the deck that we are trying to draft right now. Okay, there's some decent options here. I do like Offender at Large. Jaded Analyst is okay in some decks. Bite Down on Crime is good. I mean, we might be most likely green-white right now. I do like Offender at Large. And Concealed Weapon's not bad either. Let's go ahead and take the Bite Down on Crime. And we do get a Maverick pick 8. There's Insidious Roots. I've tried this out and played this on the channel at least 2 or 3 times. You can go ahead and check out thumbnails if you were interested in those videos. Not today, though. Another Automaton. I'll just go ahead and cut the green card here and see what wheels. We do get a Wrench and a Fanatical Strength. Both of these are fine. I guess I could take the Strength. I'm going to have to make sure I get my creature count up a little bit. What is this? No, that's horrible. I guess I'll just take Breakout because I'm not playing anything here. The Due Diligence did wheel. And so did a bunch of blue here. Alright, what can we find in pack 2? Alright, no witnesses. I have put this card in a lot of decks in the format. At least 3 or 4. And it's usually not as good as you want it to be. Now, Crowd Control Warden is pretty good here, But I think the 2-drop of Market Watch Phantom is kind of exactly what we want to be doing. I think we're going to be a little bit more of an aggressive deck. I would play a Warden, don't get me wrong. But Market Watch Phantom seems like a pretty good pickup. Here, we've got On the Job. There is a Scholar, but I think we're pretty locked into green-white at this point. It's not official, but it would take something crazy for me to go off of green-white here. I guess I take the Panther. I could take the On the Job. It's just our creature count is at 7. We have to make sure we get a good high density of creatures for On the Job to be good. I think it has the highest upside here, so I'll take that. Galvanize and Shock. But there's another Tipster, a Watchdog, a Hazda Vigilante. All of these seem okay. We only have one disguised creature in Museum Night Watch, which makes the Tipsters slightly worse. The Watchdog is usually very hit or miss. It's been, if it's good, you win the game. And if it's bad, you probably lose the game. And there's not much in between, unfortunately. I'm going to take the Watchdog. If I didn't have 2 Tipsters, I'd probably take the Tipster. But I already had 2 of them there, so I didn't think that was the best choice. There is now an interesting pick between Hard-Hitting Question, which is a good removal spell, and Dog Walker, which can only be flipped up for white in our deck, which is, I think, still good enough. And it's another disguised creature for Tunnel Tipster. I think that's gonna break the tie here. Go with Dog Walker. Another Phantom. It was good enough to pack 2, pick 1, so I guess we can pack 2, pick 5 it here. Okay, Crowd Control Warden, Pompous Gadabout, Crovan Haunt. Some decent, green and white cards, and Riftburst Hellion as well. I think I'm going to take the Warden here. I think this is a Pompous Gadabout deck. But I think Warden is still just too good to pass up on here. Chalk Outline, Alibi. I think I'll take another bite down here. Could take Alibi. We've already got Due Diligence, though, and I think Diligence is better than Alibi, so I'm just going to go ahead and take second bite down on Crime. And wow, we get rewarded with a pick 8 Sumala Sentry, as well as a pick 8 Crowd Control Warden. If I remember correctly, we might get a pick 9 Crowd Control Warden here now, because we did have one in our first pack, if I'm not mistaken, and it looks like it did not come back. Just going to go ahead and rare draft here, not playing anything there. Take the Panther here. Griffknot Tracker is the only thing I would consider playing out of that pack. I don't think I'm playing either of these cards here. It's not really the deck for either of them. And not really a Fenestrated Phantom either. Alright. We got to pick 8 Sumala Sentry last time. Does that mean this one wheels? I don't know. Exit Specialist is going to go. Lazav is going to go. Out Cold's going to go. I don't know if it wheels. I think I have to take the Binding here, though. I do really like Sumala Sentry. But we need to make sure we have some interaction. Makeshift Binding is one of the better commons in the set. So we'll take this here. And if we wheel Pompous Gadabout, I'd be excited about that, too. Perimeter Enforcer with 5 Detectives? I think that's still good enough. Nervous Gardener not at its best in this deck, but a card I would probably still play. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Perimeter Enforcer here. This is a tough pick between Market Watch Phantom number 3, Loxodon Eavesdropper, and Hard-Hitting Question. We've got Double Bite down on Crime as well as Makeshift Binding. I don't think that means I'm going to take Hard-Hitting Question. This is really tough. I think I'm going to go with Eavesdropper because I have 2 Phantoms already, and this is a nice little 2-for-1 into the late game here. This is really close, though. I wouldn't fault you at all with going with Phantom there. Make Your Move could be a main deckable card for us. Not really thrilled on the Crocodile there. All right, another Makeshift Binding. Love to see that. And another Phantom. Love to see that as well, but we'll take the Makeshift Binding here. Maybe Sampling Collector or Sample Collector. Not exactly sure. Don't need another On the Job or another Panther. I don't think I'll play this, but I'll take it anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and rare draft here, not playing a Thinking Cap or a Phantom. I don't think I'm playing a second Fanatical Strength, but we'll see. And Sumala Sentry did come back. So no one's playing green-white. We found the open deck. Pompous Gadabout would be a nice pickup as well, but I can't pass up on another Sumala Sentry. Don't think I'm playing 3 Fanatical Strengths. Can I get one more Disguise Creature here? We have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just 3 Disguise Creatures. Not thrilled with that, but I would have loved to get one more Crowd Control Warden. We just couldn't really take them when we had the opportunity because we had some other good options as well. So I'm going to go ahead and build this interesting deck that I haven't played here in a while, and I'll see you after deck building. Okay, after deck building, here is where I ended up. I'm actually pretty interested in this deck here. I'm running 4 Disguise Creatures, which is a little bit lower than what I wanted with Double Sentry, Double Tipster. Got a Dogwalker, a Nightwatch, a Warden, and I did want to put in Phantom here only because it's just another Disguise Creature and we have a good amount of synergy with that here. So I included this as the 4th Disguise. Got a Watchdog, Eavesdropper, Panther. I cut the second Bite Down on Crime because we do have Double Binding and Case. I think On the Job's going to be fine in this deck. And keeping 1 Strength here as well. Playing 17 lands for the flips. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to end up. Not thrilled with the Sample Collector and stuff, but I wanted to keep my creature count nice and high. I think this has the opportunity to win a good amount of games. It's got, you know, a little bit of interaction and 4 removal spells here. On the Job for the late game win. Fanatical Strength Combat Trick. I'm excited for this one. Haven't played green-white in a while, but I think it has the tools to succeed in this form. So I will see you in game number 1. All right, starting on the draw here. We got a bunch of plays, so we're going to keep it. It's just, obviously need a green, and I'm going to have to figure out how to sequence this hand here with Double Phantom and Enforcer. My instinct says to lead on Enforcer, because that will have, it's got lifelink. There's the green. Don't think I'm leading on Sentry here. Tunnel Tipster with the ramp. Let's lead on Enforcer, play Phantom next turn, get the trigger, because the Phantom is a detective. And then the Phantom the next turn can trigger both of them. But they do have 4 mana here. And a Hedge Whisperer. Okay, they're going big. Not a bad draw. That helps us get rid of something next turn. So next turn we can play Phantom, Case, kill a 3, an X3 here. Probably the Tipster, but depends on what they do and what they play. Yeah, now we'll kill that. So I think we're just going to play Phantom and Case of the Gateway Express next turn, and then the following turn we play Sentry. Trigger everything except the Enforcer, and then go from there. Alright, so let's play Phantom, and even if they have removal here, the Case is still going to kill the Scholar. You have a pump spell, like Fanatical Strength or something? If so, at least it didn't eat one of our creatures if they do decide to do that. Okay, return it to their hand. Okay, okay. Now, next turn, if they... I was going to say, if they don't play a flyer, but they are going to have Steam Core Scholar probably next turn, so we play Strength, attack with all 3, solve the case, hold up Fanatical Strength if they block the Enforcer or something like that is what I think the play is going to be. Really hope they don't have interaction again. Would be shocked if they didn't play a land here. Usually you just want to hit your land drops in this format, I've found, so they missed one last turn. Okay, got rid of a creature with flying, and then do miss a land here. Okay, so again, they do have interaction up. I don't know what it is. And I would very much like to solve my case, so maybe I get 2 for 1 going for the Fanatical Strength on the Enforcer here, which wouldn't be great. Okay, never mind. Looks like we don't get to do that. Obviously forecasting my my combat trick in hand, but still think it makes sense to attack here. If we draw land next turn, we can remove something and play Phantom, and probably have attacks with everything at that point. Okay. They are preventing us from solving the case, but we are still bashing in for a good amount of damage each turn here. Let's do this, get the trigger on Phantom, get in there and attack. I think just cycle the Panther. Go get white. Play the land and pass here. Now next turn we have Bite Down on Crime for cheap and Makeshift Binding as a double removal spell here. On the job. Well, I guess that's not horrible. We do get to solve the case as well. See if they play around on the job here. This leaves them dead. So they have to block the Phantoms as well? Some way? I'm sure they're worried about on the job. Yeah. This would be fine. We keep two creatures and they lose 4 creatures here. That would be pretty good. All right, so now we keep 1 creature. And they lost basically their whole board. And we've got 2 removal spells in hand here. think this is lethal. Yeah, it looks like it is. So we'll do this. Oh no! Because it's plus, plus 1 power here. Okay, so it's not exactly lethal. Should I do it with the Phantom and then it forces them to chump? Or do it with the Enforcer and gain 4 life? It probably doesn't matter if I do it with the Enforcer here, so I'm just going to do this. This does force them to chump, but I think they were doing it with Maverick anyway. Like they were going to chump even if I didn't have a 5-powered creature here, so... Got another removal spell next turn. If they just tap this to make a 5/5, then we've got lethal. They're thinking about it. Alright, unless they also have interaction in their hand, this should be lethal here. Alright, that should do it. There we go. That's exactly how we drew it up with this deck. Alright, we're up first here, and look at this hand. Phantom into Investigator. On the play, they get more cards in hand than us, more than likely. This should work out. Ooh, into Watchdog. I mean, look at this curve. Let's hope they don't have interaction or a way to deal with it. Tunnel Tipster. Well, our other opponents started out with Tunnel Tipster as well. See what they can do with it. If they play 2 cards out of their hand this turn, a land and a creature, Investigator will trigger on our upkeep. Wouldn't be shocked if they went for removal if they had it, but green, 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 black. There's not a lot that can kill Investigator with that. I guess Long Goodbye could kill it. They might be debating between killing Investigator at a very disadvantaged... Yeah, okay. Easy choice for us there. And then green, green, what else you got? Inspector has reach. Okay. Looks like they'll call our bluff. Good for them. Alright, now they got double black, so now there's a lot more things in the format that can kill Investigator here. Land wouldn't be a horrible draw. That would let us play Binding and Sentry if that's what we want to do. Down goes Investigator. Alright, they found some answers. Okay, let's start here. If we draw a land, we can play Sample Collector as well. We, in fact, did not draw land. And now our hand is very mana inefficient. Even if we draw a land, we can't cast any more than one spell. Another Tipster and a Disguised Creature. Yep. Alright, now they got a bunch of 2/2s and things. Alright, I guess this helps us get closer to lands here. Oh my gosh. These are great cards, but can I afford to keep them at the expense of missing land drops over and over again? I can probably keep the case here. I can solve it next turn. So let's keep the case, play Sample Collector. And then next turn I can play case, kill something, and attack with everything. Or at least 3, I guess. If they play another Disguised Creature, that's going to be pretty bad. Oh. That's a lot of damage. 8 to 16 go to 1. They all got trample? Wow. Can I afford to go to 1? Sure, go to 1, I guess. And then... One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 I can hit them for this turn. Don't think we have graveyard interaction, so let's use that and then put it here, I guess, that blocks their tipsters well. Again, lands are good. Lets us disguise Nightwatch and play the case. Oh, what do they have? Don't tell me they drew Fanatical Strength. That's going to be incredibly frustrating if that's the case. I mean, I basically just have to do this, and if they drew Fanatical Strength, then we lose. That's exactly what they drew. Come on, man. Really? They were top decking. We had so many answers in our hand. I just hate that. Alright, starting on the draw again here. Sorry, on the play again. With Phantom on 2, playing against number 25 in the world now. Got our work cut out for us, especially when all the Mythic players we go up against top deck lethal spells when they've got no cards in hand. So, that's great. Now, we have no way to trigger Phantom going forward, so that's a bit awkward. Too much to ask for Wojek Investigators off the top? Eh, could take that too, I guess. Is a tipster good enough? I don't think I need a tipster anymore. And I think I cycle Panther here just because we saw what happened last game when we missed land drops. Plus, it makes Bite Down on Crime castable for just 2, so... Draw Makeshift Binding. Can't really do anything this turn. I guess we just play Watchdog and hope they don't interact with it in any way. Ooh, alright. Got the full 3 colors. Do they go for more? Yes, they do. And they still have Shock. No? Okay, didn't have Shock. There we go. So if we can make it to our turn and be able to attack with 3 creatures, that would be pretty good. So they're going to cloak a card. We're going to Makeshift Binding Vannifar. Got a Crocodile. I don't think I'm going to Bite Down on Crime here. If I draw a land next turn, I can Eavesdropper and Bite Down. I really hope they don't have a way to interact with Makeshift Binding. If they get Vannifar back again, that's going to be difficult. Collecting evidence, searching for Rakdos. That will probably kill us. So all we can hope for is Eavesdropper to survive. Next turn we crack the clue and Bite Down on Crime Rakdos, and if that doesn't work, then I mean, then we're done. Here comes Rakdos. Triggers on their end step because why wouldn't it? Sure, draw your 2 cards, I guess. Or do I sacrifice Maverick and Phantom here just to somehow get back into this? Because Phantom isn't doing anything right now. So we basically just have to do this. Well, yeah, I have to do this here. Is it worth collecting evidence? The only other thing I could do is use Maverick on this. Or do I just cast it for 4 here? I guess I just cast it for 4. Alright, they will chump to preserve some life. I would be willing to bet they're playing Chalk Outline in this deck. So we'll see if they find it here. Disguise and disguise again. Inspector Putting a counter, okay. On itself. Now Eavesdropper can't really attack. Alright, let's do this and play Night Watch, I guess. Ooh, what is this? For single red, they either have Shock or they have Pyrotechnic Performer here. Alright, got bite down on crime. Down goes investigators. We haven't been able to stick and land our expensive creatures here. Let's go ahead and do... this in case it is Shock. And then get in with our 3/3. Probably don't block it. Do I flip it for one more point of damage here? I don't think I'm casting Makeshift Binding, so I don't really have anything else to do unless they remove it now, but I don't think they will. So let's just get on in, cast Phantom, see if this dies to Shock or if it is in fact Pyrotechnic Performer here. Okay, so I think this is a Performer. So what did they have for one singular red mana? Is it the +2/+0 trick or something? Like Felonious Rage? I don't see why they would have Felonious Rage in their hand. Okay, still nothing. They had a green and a red and priority, didn't do anything. Glint Weaver, that stonewalls us here. Can't really do anything here now. It's also got reach. Both of them have reach. How do we get through this? On the job after drawing creature after creature, I suppose, is about it. Look, still one mountain priority. Oh no. Oh, they've got Doppelgang. They were looking at this. Do they have Doppelgang in their hand? That would be a huge problem if they did. Still can't do anything, so go ahead. I think this one has inevitability in their favor, unfortunately. We've got a lot of creatures, but they're splashing around, and I think that's just going to lead to them having better top decks than us. Yeah, see? An Vengeful Creeper. Yep, see, here are the top decks. We had them close, and then looks like they turned the corner, and we just can't get through. Life gain, reach, bombs. And that should probably do it, I would think. Sure, take 7. What does it matter? think we're done here. Another creeper getting another 8/8 on the battlefield. Alright, well, yeah, they just had too much power there. We have a very, very aggressive deck that they just dealt with early and got to the late game and beat us. Alright, going first again. Let's see if we can actually draw our way out of this here. Tipster Sentry. Good if we find a disguised creature. So let's start with Tipster. Single blue? What do you have? Spell Snare. Okay. That's how this draft is going. The main deck Spell Snare getting us. Sure. Land would be good here. Then we could flip up Phantom, and it's a 5/4 flyer? But instead, no. How does a miss land drop sound? So let's cycle this, play Enforcer, I guess. I guess they were color screwed there? Huh. Well, serves you right, spell snaring my Tunnel Tipster. Alright, incredibly awkward hand here. Very good if we can find a white. We do have Tipster into at least 2 or 3 looks at cards that work with this hand. I think it's keepable. If we were on the play, I would be much less... What is going on? Leyline of the Guild pack on the battlefield. Alright, so all of their stuff is all of the colors. Sure. Think I'll lead on Tipster. Just to get ahead on mana here. Let's do... Well, I say get ahead on mana, but it doesn't end up working out that way, because we only have 1 plains. Yeah, I mean, I gotta keep these. I can't not keep these. Oh, that's great. All right. Alright, well, let's get rid of that stupid thing. And offer the trade, and that way next turn I can do Investigator and disguise the Night Watch. Oh, that's why they're doing this. Yeah. So when this hits us, they draw nothing right now. What's the follow-up? A 5/5. Yeah, Forest is the worst draw we could have had there. It says trample, doesn't it? No, it doesn't have trample. Why? Oh. I guess I should have attacked with that. I totally forgot it doesn't have... Or it is suspected here. This doesn't seem great, especially if they have any sort of interaction in their hand, but can't just take 11. Losing to this deck would be wild here. Wow. Yeah. They're playing some cards. They are playing some cards. That's for sure. And I'm sure they have a way to play this last card so that I don't investigate. That's exactly right. Yeah, this is wild, man. Gosh, Magic is fun until you run up against things like this and then just like have to deal with this. Sure. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm gonna counter it too. Oh man. This is so annoying. This deck is gonna go 1 and 3. Oh man. Alright, well, you got to see that from them, so GG's, I guess. Oh man. Let's draw a Forest to end it. Close enough. Alright. This deck was a lot better than 2 and 3, and ran up against whatever that was. So thanks for tuning in today. 3 more drafts of the format left, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow for your daily draft.